Hello there guys and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for me to welcome you back to yet another one of these FIFA 17 ratings predictions videos. And I do apologise for how long it has been since the last one. It's just taken me quite a long time to get another one together, regrettably, wanting to focus on career mode and getting those series done, but I feel as if I can make another one right now. Today we of course got the 11th place team in the league, that being Everton. However, I would like you guys to suggest what teams you would like to see in the future of this series before FIFA 17 comes out, because I don't think we're going to get through all the BPL teams. So if there's any teams you want me to do, whether it be current BPL teams, newly promoted BPL teams, or teams that were relegated from the BPL last season, then drop that in the comments section, thumb up each other's comments so I know which ones you want the most, and I'll make sure that I try and do sort of the top 2 comments for each video. But now if you don't know the gist by now, I am going to predict the starting overall for the starting 11, and I'm also going to predict their career mode potential as well. And then after that, we're going to predict, we're going to do the same thing for some of the younger players, some of the new signings, and some of the bench players as well for the club. So for Everton, we'll go through the starting 11 that played the majority of last season, then we'll have the new signings, and we'll have some of the younger players as well. Now if you do go on to enjoy the video, I would massively appreciate it if you could like the video. If we could get to like 100 likes, that'd be massively appreciated as well. But I guess we might as well start with the goalkeeper, might as well get into things. And I realise Maarten Stekelenburg played the first game of the season for Everton, but first of all we have got Joel Robles. We'll get to Maarten Stekelenburg a little bit later on. Now, his overall at the start of FIFA 16 was 74 and a silver. I have upgraded him by 2 to 76. He wasn't mega last season, better than Tim Howard realistically. He kept Tim Howard out of the squad, mainly because Tim Howard was bad more than Joel Robles was exceptionally good. But I do remember watching him play against Liverpool in the 4-0 thrashing, I think it was, where we beat Everton, and he kept the scoreline respectably. It could have been any scoreline without Joel Robles, so I have given him the upgrade because I think 74 is just too harsh. And then in career mode, I've got the potential for him to grow by a further 2 to 78, because he's not exactly one of the oldest goalkeepers in the league, let's be honest. After that, we move on to the Everton right back, and of course that is the Irishman Séamus Coleman, who is a very, very good right back. I really rate this guy. I take him at my club, which says a lot because he plays for Everton and I support Liverpool. But Séamus Coleman, very solid right back, easily one of the best in the Barclays Premier League. I've left him the same though at 81 because I don't feel as if he had the exceptional season as he has in seasons beforehand. He still was very good, but I've left him the same at 81. Obviously Everton severely underperformed last season, so they're going to find it hard to get upgrades on some of their better players perhaps from EA, just purely because EA will look at the table, think, oh, they underperformed, and they won't give that many upgrades. So I've left Séamus Coleman the same at 81 and then the potential to grow to 82 in career mode. After that though, we've got Phil Jagielka, who had a pretty good season. A lot of Everton fans will say that he was certainly one of the better defenders in the squad overall throughout the season. I'm leaving him the same though at 81 because I just don't feel as if EA will upgrade him. I think he's aging, and EA tend to dislike giving upgrades to aging players and stuff like that, but I have left him the same. I feel as if 81 is fair. So the prediction of 81, the potential to stay at 81 as well, obviously because in career mode he's going to be in his 30s. Obviously he's in his 30s in real life, I do believe anyway. After that though, we've got the second of the centre backs for now, and this is Funes Mori. We'll get on to Ashley Williams a little bit later on. Obviously John Stone's not at the club anymore, but Funes Mori of course still is. He was 75 overall at the start of FIFA 16. I've upgraded him by 2 to 77. Again, a lot like Joel Robles, although I think Joel Robles was probably a bit better, but Funes Mori wasn't exactly a standout player last season. I'm not a massive fan of his, to be honest, after that challenge on Divock Origi in the Merseyside derby. However, I feel as if 75 again is a little bit too harsh for him. I've gone for the potential though of 80 as well, because he's one of the younger players in the squad, certainly defenders wise. Then we move on to the left back, and that is Leighton Baines, who was 83 at the start of FIFA 16. I have downgraded though Leighton Baines by 1 to 82. Pretty disappointing season as far as usual standards for Leighton Baines, and I don't think the standards of someone who should remain at 83, so I've downgraded him to 82. His potential, of course, though, will stay the same at 82, because again, he's not one of the youngest players, he's not one of the oldest players, obviously, but his potential doesn't change on FIFA 16, so I doubt he will get any sort of upgrade when it comes to potential either on FIFA 17. But yeah, that is Leighton Baines then. After that, we've got James McCarthy, another player, actually, that I've chosen to downgrade. James McCarthy was a great player in 2014, 2015, but in 2015, 2016, again, a lot of the Everton team sort of underperformed. James McCarthy sort of petered out towards the end of the season, I feel. Pretty good at the start, but yeah, certainly died off towards the end of the season. Not really the box-to-box player that I think Everton fans were expecting. So I've downgraded him from 80 to 79. Still left him the same with the potential, or I've still given him a decent potential even, of 81. So that's the potential to grow by 2 in career mode from a starting overall of 79. As I mentioned, James McCarthy not really ending the season very well, and much like Leighton Baines, a little bit disappointing, just because Everton overall had a bit of a disappointing season. You know, it wasn't, you know, down to them. They weren't the reason Everton had a bad season, but, you know, just along with Everton having a bad season, they unfortunately underperformed a little bit as well. After that, we've got Gareth Barry, who I've decided to leave the same at 79. He was 79 at the start of FIFA 16, obviously I'm leaving him the same at 79. He's well in his 30s now, so I've left his potential as well at 79. Not much to say really about Gareth Barry, in all honesty. Very solid defensive midfielder. Realistically, at the start of his career, he looks as if he's going to be a very exciting attacking midfielder, a lot like people like Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard perhaps, but he just sort of sat back and ended up becoming a holding midfielder, which is a bit of a shame because I feel as if he had the potential to be a bit more exciting than he's ended up being. But he's a solid defensive mid, and I've left him the same at 79. After that, we move on to the wingers, and we've got Gerard Deulofeu, first of all, who was 78 at the start of FIFA 16 and then got a January upgrade to 80. So that's a +2 upgrade, and I have left him the same at 80 overall. It counts as a +2 upgrade from the start of FIFA 16, but I have left him the same from his January upgrade, because obviously he got upgraded in that. And his potential that I predicted for him is 86. I do believe that is the same potential that he has on FIFA 16. They may downgrade his potential because he's not really progressing as much as you would expect for a player to become world class. But we'll have to see. You know, we'll wait and see as to whether Deulofeu does become world class in future. But I've left the potential prediction as 86 because that's what it currently is on FIFA 16. After that, we move on to Kevin Morales, who was 80 overall at the start of FIFA 16. Been very much injury hit, really. I remember him missing a penalty in the mid stage of the season. He was very much insistent that he was going to take this penalty, even though he doesn't take penalties for Everton, and then he promptly missed it. But apart from that, he's been okay. Scored a goal on the final day of the season against Leicester, but he has been pretty injury hit. I have left him the same, though, at 80 overall as he was at the start of FIFA 16, and a potential of 80 as well, because currently his potential on FIFA 16 is the same as his starting overall, so I imagine that will carry on. That trait will carry on to FIFA 17. Then we move on to Ross Barkley, one of the more exciting players in the Everton squad when it comes to future potential. The Englishman has got 88 potential on FIFA 16 though, which I think is a little bit too much in reality. I think that's a bit too much overhype. He was 79 at the start of FIFA 16, then I do believe he was upgraded by 1 to 80, so I think I'm leaving him the same from his January upgrade as far as I'm aware. I'll put an annotation on the screen if I'm wrong about that, but I'm fairly sure he got upgraded from 79 to 80 in the January upgrade, so I've sort of left him then at 80. I have downgraded his potential slightly from 88 to 87, although I still think that's overhyped, but EA seem to love him, so I'm going to go with that as a prediction, because obviously I'm not giving the ratings here that necessarily I think players should have, but I'm giving the ratings that I think EA will give, whether they're right or wrong. After that though, the final player in the starting 11 is Romelu Lukaku. Of course, got a pretty decent goal tally last season in the BPL. He is very inconsistent, very much hit and miss, but his goal record is pretty good, and at the end of the day, that is what EA will look at in my opinion. He was 80 at the start of FIFA 16, then got upgraded to 82. I have upgraded him by a further 1 when it comes to starting overall to 83, and then given him the potential of 87. He currently has a potential of 88. I've downgraded that by 1, but of course I've upgraded his overall by 1 to his his January upgrade. So that is about it then for the starting 11. In the background, you are going to be seeing the squad as I've predicted it. João Robles getting a decent upgrade, same for Funes Mori, and then of course Lukaku getting one as well from myself. And now you're seeing it. Now you're seeing the squad as it was at the start of FIFA 16, and the main change really, I suppose, being in card colour for the goalkeeper João Robles, but some different upgrades and of course downgrades as well across the rest of the squad. James McCarthy and Leighton Baines getting downgrades in terms of my predictions, but of course, as I mentioned, the likes of Funes Mori and Romelu Lukaku getting upgrades, and Deulofeu and Barkley, etc, etc. Now I know it was time to move on to the rest of the squad. First up, we've got Maarten Stekelenburg, who had a very, very quiet season last year. Now, I was actually toying with the idea of downgrading him to 76, and I have in the end gone with that, which is a bit of a risk because he played against Tottenham today and had a really, really good game. He made quite a lot of really good saves in that game, so by the time FIFA 17 comes out, he may have actually had a very good start to the season and may end up keeping that 77 overall, but I'm basically judging it off last season, where he basically just didn't play or didn't feature whatsoever, so I've downgraded him from 77 to 76, but my opinion may change, and EA's opinion may change if he puts in performances like he did against Tottenham for the next month until FIFA comes out. That could quite easily go back up. I'm very much undecided on that one, but for now, judging it off last season, I've given him a downgrade. After that, we move on to Brian Oviedo, who was 71 overall at the start of FIFA 16. I have left him the same. The left back, who was pretty solid. He was alright, actually, before he got that leg injury, and then last season he's just been a bit dire, realistically. So I've left him the same. Potential of 73, because he's sort of that age where he can grow by 1 or 2 in career mode. After that, we're going to move on to the holding midfielder, and that is Besic. We'll move on to Ashley Williams after this. We've got Besic, though, first of all, who was 75 overall at the start of the game, and after some pretty solid performances, unfortunately, though, plagued by injury, but I have given Besic an upgrade as well by 2 to 77, and the potential to grow to 83, which is his current career mode potential, actually, on FIFA 16. So I've left his potential the same, but I have upgraded his overall from 75 to 77. Seems like a pretty popular defensive midfielder amongst the Merseyside parts on the blue side of Liverpool. But yeah, Everton fans seem to like him quite a lot. So Besic there with a +2 upgrade after some pretty decent performances last season. Then we're going to move back to defenders. We've got Ashley Williams, who was 81 at the start of the game, and I have left him at 81. Obviously different club at this point, but yeah, I've left him the same at 81. He was 81 at the start of FIFA 16, left him at 81, and the potential, of course, to be 81 as well, because again, he's one of the more aging players in the squad. After that, we move on to Idrissa Gueye, or Ghana Guy, or however you pronounce it, who was 75 overall at the start of FIFA 16, and I have left him at 75 once again. Despite getting relegated with Aston Villa, he seemed solid at times, definitely always going to be one of those players who got snapped up when Aston Villa were relegated. I'm surprised people like Jordan Ayew actually haven't been snapped up, and Jack Grealish as well. But yeah, and the potential to grow by 3 in career mode 78. Then we move on to Darren Gibson, who was 76 at the start of FIFA 16. I have downgraded him by 1 to 75 because he's just, in my eyes, been pretty average for quite a long time. I don't know whether Everton fans will disagree. If you do disagree, then drop it in the comment section. But I've downgraded him by 1 to 75. After that, we move to Aaron Lennon, who was 77 overall at the start of the game. I've left him at 77, despite actually being pretty solid last season, actually, and playing quite a lot of games last season. I just don't feel as if EA will upgrade him. He hasn't been upgraded on the offline squads on FIFA 16, but I will take note of how decent he actually was last season. But I'm predicting what EA will do. I'm not just giving what I think should happen, I'm predicting what EA will do, and I'm not sure they'll give him an upgrade, so I've left him the same at 77. We've got Tom Cleverley, who was 77 at the start of FIFA 16. Again, much like Lennon, I've left him the same at 77 too, but with the potential to grow by 2 to 79. Then we've got the main man himself, man like Shani Tarajai from my Leicester career mode. He, of course, signed from Grasshopper Zurich to Everton over January and now has completed his move in the summer. He was 67 overall at the start of the game. I've promoted him by 3 to 70 after a very good season in Switzerland, and then given him the potential to grow to 83 in career mode. Then we've got Aruna Kone, who was 76 at the start of FIFA 16, got a +1 upgrade in January to 77. I have left him the same at 77, but of course it works out as a +1 upgrade from the start of FIFA 16. And then finally we've got Niasse, who I have actually left at 77, despite being an utter flop at Everton, because I'm basing it on his performances in Russia. He obviously did very, very well for, I think it was Lokomotiv Moscow, hence he earned his transfer to Everton, and you could argue he hasn't done anything to require a downgrade because he just hasn't been played. I mean, Roberto Martinez bought him, then just didn't bother playing him. So I've just left him the same because he hasn't had an opportunity to prove himself in front of the Everton crowd, and he obviously had a good season in Russia last year. So I've left him the same at 77, the potential to grow by 1 to 78 in career mode. But that is about it for my predictions then for Everton in FIFA 17 career mode. If you have any disagreements, then of course drop them politely in the comment section below. If you did enjoy the video though, feel free to hit the likes button, subscribe if you're new around here as well, and comment about enjoying the video if you enjoyed it that much. Don't forget to tell me what teams you would like me to to predict in the future as well in the coming weeks. But for now, it has been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.